Let's into this one. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I see a few people already just commenting and saying, like, you're late, dude. I don't think we're too late. How's everyone doing? Leon, how are you, my dude?
The truth is out there about these GTA 6 leaks, and
The truth
we're
is
gonna
out
find
there.
them.
We're gonna find them. So, just before we get started, hello to everyone that made it in the chat. That will be Words of Paradise. Cass, much love for showing up here. Look at that. I can do this. Like I can try these things now. So, we'll do the introductions as we go. Because I wanted to get a little bit into this, like almost straight away. So, Los Santos off the grid. We just have been investigating a few things in Los Santos, and I got like some files that I wanted to check with everyone. And our expert in not just aliens, but also conspiracy theories, Leon, tell us a little bit about it because you did something like this.
These are files that the government wants us to have, Bishop. I think this could bring the entire capitalist system of GTA down. We're looking at what might possibly be the biggest money maker in video game history, and they don't
I
want us to
think
know this stuff before it launches.
I think there's something out there. Actually, I pulled up some files. I think they're going to be like a little bit interesting because I think this is one of those. Do you know when they throw a smoke curtain when they're trying to tell you like the government does this like a few times? You know, well they tell us like, oh, look at the aliens because they want us to look
Yeah,
the other
it's
way.
diversion, smoke and mirrors. It's a cover up. It's a distraction.
All right. Actually, speaking of distractions, you do have a show about aliens, and you do have a show about conspiracy theories. Tell
It's
us
on hiatus right
tell us
now,
a
but I
little
do
bit
have
more.
one. Yes, I do have a show about that. So although it's on hiatus, probably won't be coming back till mid-February, but due to an incredibly busy January, or maybe it's just I've been contacted by the government. They've told me I need to cool it for a bit, and they've got little red dots pointed places.
They're watching us. They are watching us.
Always.
So here's the files that we're going to be looking at. There is this one guy that claimed that he has seen the 2024 build of GTA 6. And he made another post where there's like a lot of reading, but I just condensed everything. There's like a few bits that are redacted. And then what's going to happen is we're just going to look at the posts, and I want to get everyone's input, not just you, but the two people in the chat and anyone that is actually watching this like at some other time for some ungodly reason and say like, oh, let's just click on this. So I want to get like the input. So have you ever seen any of these leaks for the 24 build for the GTA 6?
I have seen, and I could be wrong, but I may have covered them on my channel when they first dropped. At least it did on a live stream. Like 3 or 4 supposed still images. And that was literally it. And I didn't even know if they were real at the time because I mean the internet's so full of hoaxes, but I do remember there were images of somebody in an office building, like a high-rise office building, with what was supposedly build images on the PC that they had taken photos of.
Okay. So the first post just says like, I'm leaving this post here. It's interesting, not because it's even a fragment of authenticity. I highly doubt this leak is legitimate. So just before we go in, I do think this is a little bit of gobbledygook. There's a few things that are just far too obvious, but we're gonna have a look into this. So the first post, this was on GTA 6 Countdown. A user claims to have seen a few hours of GTA 6 gameplay at Rockstar. And then there's a thread. It's just the intro post. And the first post says, shooting NPCs feels so realistic that it makes you feel bad and will be harder to do. What's your experience with GTA 5 or 6 or 4 or something and killing NPCs?
I'm actually a bit of an old head, which is ironic considering a couple things, but I am not a fan of GTA after the PS2 era. The PlayStation 4 one was PlayStation 3 one, Grand Theft Auto 4. I didn't play too terribly much of just because it wasn't really my vibe. Same with the GTA 5. However, GTA is San Andreas and Vice City. Oh my god, were my jams. I love and adore those games, and I've never had an issue with killing NPCs. They're just that NPCs. They're not real. It's a game, but individuals that I know individuals that do just they can't bring themselves to do it. And if so, these sorts of games aren't for you.
I do have like the timeline here. Believe it or not, I was there for the GTA, the original one. So I was there for this one here. There's like a bunch of other
Really?
games like I was there. So I remember playing this. And at the time, like there was GTA 2, and I remember vaguely playing it. But then the other ones released for consoles. I never had like a PlayStation or anything. So I never was much of a fan of GTA until I got to GTA 5. So this was 2013 when I started playing, and in 2014 when it was released for
God, did
the
5 really
PC.
come out in 2013? It's been that long?
It has been that long, and then they've been lying to us for all this long. I think we're gonna get back to this screen here. I just wanted to everyone to just have like a timeline of this. Look at this. There was no games being released in between 2013 and 2019, 2018, 2019. The Red Dead
2018,
Online.
19 were okay, that's when online came out? Okay.
No. The Grand Theft Auto 5 Online came in with 2013.
Oh, I thought GTA 5 Online released after the standard edition of GTA 5. Okay.
Yeah. So there's like some controversy in the progress right now before they start using the rating system. And San Andreas, I think like everyone is just been saying like, I mean, it's a little bit divided in between San Andreas and not Vice City. Where's the other one?
Yeah. I thought Vice City
Vice
was the
City. Vice City is, yeah.
yeah.
So cops can set up a crime scene after a shooting and taking pictures, measurements. Afterwards, the bodies will be picked up and taken away to a mortuary or hospital. And the NPCs react with realistic movements and show pain shock when they're shot. Stomach shot makes them move slightly back, bend forward, put a hand on their stomach, shoot for blood, stumble and drop knees, gasping for air while saying, "Why did you shoot me?" I'm not gonna lie, when I drive in GTA Online, I do apologize a little bit to the NPCs. I go like, sorry, because you know, it's people.
I was gonna say, I think I've done that as well, to be fair, but more because like I actually feel worse for messing up a car than I do killing a fake person. But something about this already strikes me as interesting. The idea that if you're shooting an NPC and the cops come and do a chalk outline and they take the body away and whatnot, that seems, don't get me wrong, that would be very cool in terms of realism, but isn't the point the cops chase you when you do so like that and they're the obstacle you got to get through because that's how you would die in the game is cops coming after you? I can't imagine them taking resources, putting it towards having NPC cops do NPC chalk outlines for bodies, stuff like that. Just seems too good to be true.
And the amount of computing that it will require for people to act for just the computer, for the consoles and the PCs to actually calculate all that stuff. But I think that a little bit of the point of this is just to try to make it a little bit more punishing when you're on an online session and you're just going around and then killing people. That's something that it's a little bit too forgiving, in my opinion, at times when you're just going around on playing on a public session. And that's one of the main reasons a lot of people decided to not go and then play on online sessions. So maybe the realistic stuff is going to be good, especially for RPs. We're going to get into that. Do you RP? Do you role play?
Yeah. Go on. I'm sorry.
Do
Yes,
you
I know
role
what
play?
RP means. Come on now. Yes. I used to
Sure.
LARP. I used to be big into LARPing. And I play a lot of role playing games, but it's not something I've really had the opportunity to do in a while. So I mean, if there's like an online community for LARPing or for role playing for this, that could actually be really fun.
Oh, do I have some files for you? We're gonna move on into the next one because He says the world feels very alive as nearly everything has a physical place, every debris and litter of all kinds. And this one struck to me a little bit because is this something that we're really going to be paying attention when we're playing? When we're just flying through whatever street, are we just going to be looking at like, well, there's this can here in the ground in this specific place that we can move if we kick the can down the road? Is this something
I
that's
100% believe this one. Even if this isn't true, technically, even if someone made this up, I bet it is true, and that they're calling like the rumors are that this is the most expensive video game ever made. In fact, if you want to share my screen for a moment,
how do I allow
it
this?
there's a button at the bottom. There you go. I don't know. Do you have this screen pulled
There you
up? Do you
go.
have this information? Is this something you plan on talking about today? Have you seen this?
A video game industry analyst says that there is a hope in the games industry. Oh, we're gonna get to that because like
Okay,
it's in
okay,
the
then
file.
we'll stop. I didn't know if that was something you had seen or had on the docket for today. So,
It's
point
on the
is,
dock.
this is one of the most the rumors that this is the most expensive video game ever made, and we all saw the trailer, which looked very hyper realistic. So yeah, I absolutely do believe there's going to be like plastic convenience store bags billowing in the wind, and like it's
How
going to be off the
much?
charts in terms of
But my
little things like that.
but my question here is how much are we going to care
Oh, I don't care about shit like that in the slightest. I'm gonna be real. I mean, there are a lot of people that do. In fact, I'm probably in the minority,
when
but
it comes to
I don't care
graphics?
about things
Yeah,
like that. I care more about again, I like the old PS2 ones where it's you didn't have stuff like it wasn't incredibly realistic in that regard. So
a little bit more blocky. The game is
yeah,
breathtaking and feels truly next gen with a real jump in graphics compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, this is a big thing. So I couldn't find the
that's a
doc
bold
because
claim.
yes, because like it was severely redacted, and I was trying to find the doc because I said I've seen this, but there was a report from one of the developers or something that mentioned that the Red Dead Redemption was used as like a test for GTA 6, but I couldn't find this to just prove this. So take it at face value, but it was said that Red Dead Redemption was just a completely test bench for what they could do in GTA 6. Now, there is something, the closest that I could find, it's in the doc later on, where they start pulling resources from Red Dead Redemption to GTA 6. So it feels like they released Red Dead Redemption and then they just abandoned the project. But we're going to be looking into that. Have you played Red Dead Redemption?
I'm not, but I have a lot of friends that played it. I've watched a lot of friends play it. I really enjoy it. I never had the opportunity to play the first one, and I didn't want to play the second one until I played the first. And frankly, the first recently came out on Steam within the last few months, so I'm going to actually be getting both of them and playing them. It's on, like I said, it's on the docket, but I haven't. But I mean, we know our mutual friend Vex Electronica. It's her favorite
Yeah.
video game of all time. I'm very invested in Red Dead because of her. Again, watch my friends play it. I just haven't actively played it myself.
I'm waiting for someone in the chat to say that it was also her like favorite game. Look at that. The
There we go.
second one is the best game ever made.
What is
My
up? How you doing,
gosh.
bud?
How are
Also,
you doing?
and keeping in line with my favorites of the GTA games being on PS2, I did play Red Dead Revolver on PS2, which is the first one. Red Dead Redemption 2 is technically the third game because Red Dead
Yeah.
Revolver, then Red Dead 2. And I did like Red Dead Revolver back on the PS2.
Good stuff.
God,
Good
that sounds so
stuff.
old.
My God, I didn't know I had to set up this file discussion to get everyone out of the out of hiding. But good to see you here. Good to see you here, Marty Tiberius O'Donnell. Storms and hurricanes feel real, and wind moving poles and road signs and NPCs losing balance and running for cover. Now, this is in line with the previous one, and I think this is going to happen. This is something that
It's
you
also
can
in
see.
line with Red Dead 2, right? Because like we see this like the snow and stuff in Red Dead 2. So yeah, this I completely believe.
There's like plenty of physics that are altered, like depending on the climatary conditions. Is that a word? Climatary conditions.
We're gonna
So
make it a word because that sounded really good. The government
sounds
doesn't
really
want it
good.
to be a word, but by God, we're gonna make it a word.
I don't think the government wants to be a word. I don't think the government wants us to be discussing this because there's a lot of things that was redacted from this. So I'm still hiding. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a beautiful story, Leon. It's a prequel, so you can probably play it first with a
See,
few issues.
I know it's a prequel, and that was my question, but both Vex and Cannoli Sasquatch have said no. Even though it's a prequel, you should play the first one first because of certain things that the prequel affects in the first. Like playing the second one hits harder as a prequel if you know the story of the first, is what I've been told. So
Okay, we definitely want to check that. Definitely want to check that. So we're moving on and says crews of maintenance and cleaning will interact with the world. I'm guessing it says world, and what the player does. After a big crash, traffic jams will occur until the road is cleared, and a random event can be triggered, and a truck, a van, and a crane will arrive at the crash site, and NPCs will naturally clean, removing and load debris up and transport it. Now, I have a question. Like, I don't know exactly where this coming from. If it is just the story, or if this is online. I'm focusing a little bit more on what I'm going to be able to see online because this is where I'm going to be jumping in. And I just think that this would be a lot of resources just to get all this stuff coming up happening online and all the people that will disrupt this as well.
I did. First of all, you're entirely correct. This would take a lot of resources. That being said, it also sounds like something Rockstar would do, and it's also something that I don't think most players would care about. So it seems like a waste of resources if it's true. But it does seem like something Rockstar would do.
I'm going to tell you something. If this is something that it's going to happen online, I think this will be like really cool. One of the things that I mentioned a few days, and someone will remember, is the immersion of the game. There was one point where I completely forgot about everything, and I was just so immersed in the game, and I completely forgot about everything else. So this will be something that will be super interesting to just be on this separate universe and enjoying like seeing something like a crash site and then seeing other players. But I think that for this to happen, they need to make it extremely punishing to have other players interfere. Because if
So
they
when you
don't
play
ever,
GTA Online, because I've never played GTA 5 online, is it competitive, cooperative, or both? Because my biggest experience with online games is like World of Warcraft. So where you can do either one. It depends on what you're trying to do, whether you're playing cooperatively, competitively. How is GTA 5 and what does that you think it means for GTA 6 in terms of
so I,
online?
I think that there's three basic things that can happen when you jump on GTA Online. You go into a session where everyone is just doing their own thing, everyone is just grinding. Usually it's going to be like a smaller session.
So like Fallout
And
76 in that regard. Okay.
yeah, so everyone is just doing their own thing. They don't really care about you. You see helicopters flying by, it's whatever. Occasionally, one in a million times, you'll see someone just if you're in the middle of nowhere, someone will show up with a helicopter, and you can just jump in a helicopter, and then they will fly you to the city or just kick you off in the city. The second one is very, very competitive. It's very much KOS, kill on sight. People see you, they will shoot you, and then that's
Like straight
it.
up gang wars.
Straight up gang wars. Everyone is just shooting everyone. And a third one, it's a mix of both, where everyone is just trying to do their own thing, and then there's like 2 or 3 guys that are just picking a fight in between themselves, and then they're just like doing that and then explaining this to everyone else. So when you jump into
So
those sessions,
let's say you
it's
got like an armored truck in GTA 6, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna knock off this iron truck, I'm gonna steal that bag. Other players gonna be like, all right, he just knocked out that armored truck. Let's go ahead and shoot him down and steal it instead. Like, is that a thing that happens?
there isn't much of the let's shoot him down. There is much of like I am going to shoot him down. It feels like it's very like one centric because it's just someone just wants to go in and then just do these things. There isn't that much of a team up unless there's 2 players like actually teaming up like on a session like buddies or something. From what I see is just like all versus all. So it's just kind of mayhem chaos. I sometimes like to load into a public session, and then you can watch TV, and then you can watch and follow like all these players just
Where you could
killing each
be
other.
like watching the news in game and it's reporting on what
Yeah,
other players are doing. Okay, so back in the day of the Game Boy Advance, Pokemon had actually something similar. Whenever because you can watch TV in the game and it'll tell you what's going on in the Pokemon world. But if you ever linked up with your friends, whatever you watch on TV was recent events your friends had done. So that's I like it when games do that. That's another sense of immersion. That's
it's kind of cool. I like to watch that. So I don't know. I think that there's going to be like super punishing for players to do that. And I'm not even going with the cheaters and modders and everything because it's just not something that I want to get into. And that's a whole different bag of problems. But moving on here, NPCs will record and call the cops in case of shooting or after a big crash. This is something that they have. There's some reaction now from the NPCs. If you do something, they will just run away, or they have like these small reactions. But I can imagine like 10 years of development, they would have improved on this.
well, actually, not only have they probably improved on it. My assumption is that there's heavy AI involvement influence. They've been using learn models for the AI to randomly react in what is probably the most human-like way for these NPCs. That way they need to get that way they need to train a bunch of models and mocap and things like that to react the same way every time. If you can get generative AI to authenticate your world of NPCs, I guarantee there's a heavy AI use behind the scenes in the development of this game, and that's maybe one of the reasons it's taken so long. But that's
and a bit of
guess.
production now in the midst. It's a new word.
Yeah, so there AI, they use a lot of AI to make this game. That's 100% my conspiracy theory. What do you think? Do you agree with this? There's
Yes.
I mean, what are your thoughts on AI being used to make games, especially something that you love, like GTA 5 online and into 6 online? Is this good? Is that bad?
I really don't know. I haven't thought much about it, but I actually can't say anything about this.
All right, that works.
So construction workers can actually put up poles with cranes or do road work. The road is destructible to a certain point. Holes in the road have real physics, and water will remain there after a big storm until it's evaporated by the sun. So this is something that it's happening already in GTA 5. There's some elements of the weather implicating, and I think it was a big thing in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
There's a couple of
I
people in the
remember the
chat.
advertisements. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
No. There's like a couple of people in the chat that played Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm waiting for their messages, but go on.
Like, I remember that at like E3 or one of like the big gaming conferences, they made a big deal about how when it's cold, the horse's balls shrink, like just like in real life, like that. That's how much the weather
Nice.
impacts. It impact. Like, again, I don't. That seems to me like a whole lot of effort to put into a video game. Have horse testicles shrink in the cold, but hey, it's something that is actually done, and that's how it works in real life. So
someone went to look at horses' balls to make sure that they shrink when it's
cold outside.
Right.
That way, in the game, that's replicated accurately. So, I mean, if they're caring that much about horse testicles as far back as RDR2, then I bet they care about evaporation of water and potholes in GTA 6. Again, that seems totally in line with Rockstar.
Yeah, imagine like what do you do today at work, honey? I was just programming horses' balls, make sure that they would
ball physics.
Ball physics. We're moving on to do the next one. It says realistic driving physics. Each vehicle will have its own feel and extra weight. Armor passengers' bodies in the truck will push the rear end down. Car crash physics are similar to a simulator, and cars can bend or cut in half after hitting a thick pole, and buildings can be completely destroyed by a certain degree. Player can destroy their doors, windows, walls, and roofs.
This is already in GTA 5, wasn't it? Like, this shouldn't be anything surprising at all.
Yes, I don't think this is too surprising. I think some of this happens to a degree, maybe not with the detail that I don't know, another 10 years into a game. And let's not forget that when GTA 5 was released, what was the console? Was it the 360? Because I had a
No,
360.
2013 would have been like,
Yeah,
it may have been the
there's
very end of the 360, beginning of the
it must have been that.
PS4, and whichever one was it the Series S or I think it was the Series. Either way, yeah, it would have been like the tail end of PS3 and Xbox and
Yeah,
into the PS4. And I don't remember the name of the Xbox address because their naming conventions are so strange. But yeah,
yeah. Paul, welcome. Super hyped for this game. Not gonna lie, despite not having a proper console. No need to lull this because when GTA 5 came out, I remember getting like a completely busted 360 just so I could play it. And then when he was released to the PC, I transferred one of the accounts to the PC, and then I let the other one rot on on the 360. So I said, "You'll stay there. I'll get back to you." But I haven't got like another console ever since, and I am actually thinking about getting a console for this one. I'm not sure yet,
well,
but
okay. Are you thinking about getting a console for this because it is your conspiracy theory? And I actually disagree with this. You and I talked about this behind the scenes that you think that it is not going to release day and date with PC, and you don't want to wait for the PC release. Is that the reason?
I think so. I don't think this is going to release on day one for PC because I think that they're going to try to make all the money they can on consoles first, and then they're gonna double dip this for the PC. So I'd
That
say
just seems like such a and again, you would know more about that than I, so it's by all means, if you've got precedent to think this, but I would just also think that for an online game, for a game that does, like we've talked about how resource intensive this is going to be. I mean, this game seems like it would be tailor made for high end PCs. Um, oh, apparently it's already been stated according to Marty Tiberius that PC
like
release
that.
will be a year or so later.
Yeah, it says it never releases for PC on the same day as well. So this is the thing, and I'm saying this like from personal experience because when it was released, I actually got a copy and then got another copy for the PC because I didn't know how the transfer was going to happen, and I was just like, I don't really want to transfer. I want a brand new account, so I got like a brand new account and I got an account on Steam. Kept the other one on Rockstar, so it was a little bit. Tricky. Now, I would say they are going to release I released a document where remember when I was doing the SXXL files and formulas and everything. This was a few months ago. I was doing calculations just to see when the new Xbox and the new PS5 were going to be released. I think the video is still up on my channel, and I predicted the both consoles to be released, one on the this year and the other one the new PS5 in 2027, if I recall correctly. And I
That probably
think
sounds about right.
yeah. And all I did was I just pull up like all the numbers, all the dates when they were releasing the consoles, and I just average most of the stuff just to try to predict the dates. And I think they're my thought at the time for this was they're going to release GTA 5 on around October ish, start of the school. And then they double dip with something during Christmas. And then the next year, about April, May, which is what they did for GTA 5, they released it for PC. And then they double dip it at the end of the summer. And then they quadruple dip it on in December. We're gonna go into the prices later, but go on. You were going to say something?
No, I was more just nodding along because as someone that didn't follow GTA at the time, and I also wasn't a PC gamer at the time. That's interesting. I didn't know that's how it happened back then.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're moving on into the next point. Jason and Lucia, I got old guns differently and have their own feel and weight and movements. Player will be able to carry a rifle on the back and a handgun strapped in front. They have multiple van car inventories with clothes, weapons, and attachments, and stealth elements like crouching, going prone, hiding handguns under shirt, and many things similar to Hitman or Ghost Recon. What is your first thought on this? Because I think I know what he's referring to this, and I think this is just so obvious. But what is your first thoughts on when you see this?
I think this. I mean, this is one of those things that these are leaks and predictions, and this is, like you said, super obvious. I mean, you can get like bazookas and stuff in GTA 5 Online. So yeah, it would be obvious to have this plus so much more.
So GTA 5, one of my I'm not sure if I can call it pet peeve, but one of the things that I avoid doing is to carry all the weapons because I just think that it breaks immersion so much when you're in a shootout and all of a sudden things are going bad. So you just pull a rocket launcher out of your arse with 20 grenades. Where did you keep that? And then it doesn't work. Okay, so let's go with a grenade launcher. Let's go with one of these 5 or 6 machine guns. And then where are you carrying all that stuff? And it doesn't
I
leave.
have similar immersion issues because since I don't play GTA, but I do play Fallout, and I have similar immersion issues. Like because Fallout, you've got like a weight system, and once you hit so much weight, like you're over encumbered. And one of my biggest pet peeves with Fallout was that bullets never had weight. All your guns and stuff did, but bullets never did. And you can one of my favorite mods to run is the hardcore mod that adds weight to the bullets, and that immediately means you have to carry less guns, that you have to pick and choose the sort of ammo you want to carry because now that has weight to it as well. So yeah, for immersion perspective, I completely get where you're coming from.
Is this still like an unrealistic amount of weapons that you carry?
Are you talking about in Fallout?
Yeah.
Well, since Fallout is more sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, you can have like the power armor and stuff. It's not as unrealistic because you're already stretching the realism by having a post-apocalyptic wasteland with all this sci-fi technology. So it's a bit more suspension of disbelief in that regard. But even so, something like ammo having no weight, that is too much disbelief for me. So I'm like, no, you need the mod to add weight to the ammo.
Some of the stuff that I see here, like the players will be able to carry a rifle. We'll go into this like a bit. I think this is just him guessing because you see Jason holding the pistol with his left hand. So we're gonna have like just a right-handed and a left-handed person be able to carry the rifle on the back. We're gonna go into this like in a bit because I want to talk about this. Players can have multiple car inventories with clothes, weapons, and attachments. And I think this plays a little bit into the realism of the game, which you can do this in GTA. And they're trying to find ways to have like a certain loadouts. So for certain missions, you're restricted to a certain loadout. You can't just like bring all your weapons. And I think this is where they're going with this.
You got a couple comments if you want to address those.
Let's see. The immersion is kind of hard for me in GTA. It's hard to immerse when you're rampaging across a city, killing hundreds of people. True, but I think this also boils down to the way you play your game, right? If you're just purposely going and driving and just like killing hundreds of people, but if you're just picking and choosing your targets.
That's where the role play aspect comes in. It's like you yourself are RPing like, all right, I am a professional criminal, and a professional criminal wouldn't just be gunning down random hoes in the street. Like,
yeah, it's just fun to randomly start blowing things up sometimes. Though it is. I'm not gonna lie. It's if you want to shake the tree, the government pays the bill. Like, why not? So it is. It is just an insane power game. But
the government doesn't pay the bill. The World Economic Forum, which controls the government, pays the bill. And as we all know, the World Economic Forum is controlled by lizard people. So,
yeah, like the Illuminati and stuff. Like, we should have put like the caps for that one. But one of the things that I actually do, and a lot of the times I do, is just to try to role play a little bit. I don't carry, like I was saying, I don't carry all the weapons, and I've done missions with just a pistol, just so I can have like just a little bit of that. I don't want to call it handicap, but like just a little bit of that challenge, because it's always going to be easy if you show up with your helicopter and just blow everything and then just pick up the one bag with money that didn't burn in the midst of all the rockets, Does it make sense? I don't know. I think it makes sense.
No. So I think that makes perfect sense. Sorry, I was reading the chat as well, but no, I think that makes perfect sense, especially if you want. Like, I love role playing, and just GTA was never my bag, so I haven't done with that. But yes, hail Scooby Pup, and yeah, Paul might be on to something. Government absolutely be watching, and I am sorry about the guilt by association you're going to to get after this, Bishop.
We do. We're gonna go back to this because there's like something in the doc like later on. Clothes have their own physics. When you draw a gun, clothes interact with the hand, and you can see skin underneath as they're both separate. Clothes tear, get dirty,
Clothes, there's
sweaty.
clothes like
Clothing.
okay. I just want to make sure I understood. I understood. Yeah, clothes have their own physics. Again, this seems like something super obvious because when you are making these graphical and game engine leaps, like this is the thing that supposedly gamers are asking for, or maybe it's just what's expected because if you've been waiting 10 plus years for a game, 13 years, I think by the time it releases, you better damn well show that it was worth that wait. So yeah, again, this is to be expected, I would think.
Yeah, it is to be expected, but sometimes I just think like, how much exactly are these people are going to go into this detail, or if it
On
really
with
makes
Cass.
it different? You say so?
Yeah,
I wouldn't care.
Cass says sounds like a PC killer.
Sounds it
100%.
is
100%.
100%. And there are going to be people running this on max settings, and I think we're
Bro,
going
you
to have
know
to.
there's gonna be whales that dump like 5K into a brand new PC just to run this game at max settings.
And then we're gonna welcome them because I think we're gonna have to vicariously live through their expensive setup, and then just, I don't know, woo at the graphics and say like we're never gonna be able to run that stuff, and then we're just gonna run our with like
Bro, I can't
PlayStation
even
1.
run Marvel Rivals, so like I'm gonna have to do an upgrade if I decide to get into this game.
Dude, I told you like we tested the Intel Arc. No, not the Arc, like the new one, the B650 or something. It's not bad for 200 quid. It's not bad. It's not bad. Um, so this is just like the list. He responded to a lot of these things, and we're not going to go too much into it because he feels like he's doubling down on what he said, where he's just going to say like, yes, some people are just saying like, well, did you really just focus on the debris and stuff? But we don't know exactly what he was shown to him, and we don't know what you can see, but it does look to me that it's. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? All the stuff that we've been reading here, like from the gameplay details, is any of these things seem like it's not like an obvious kind of guess? Because all this to me seems like they're obvious, safe guesses.
Minus the very first thing that we were talking about of like if you kill somebody, the police come and like doing the NPC police come and do an investigation, do the chalk outlines stuff. That seemed like complete bunk and bogus. All the rest of this, yeah, I agree, is like not only out of GTA but out of any massive triple A modern release for a game like this. These are sort of mechanic like when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out or when Fallout 5 comes out, we're going to expect mechanics like these because it's been so long since Fallout 4, it's been so long since Skyrim. There have been such graphical and AI leaps and whatnot that these are all. This is literally the definition of safety bets. All of
Yeah,
he could have not. This whole thing would be a lie. He hasn't experienced a touch of GTA 6, and this is all just obvious guesses.
that's what a lot of people have been saying. You can actually destroy them 60% of the buildings. The graphics are even better than Red Dead Redemption 2, which is, I think it's a bit obvious. Even though Red Dead Redemption 2 still looks very beautiful, sure, but GTA 6 looks and feels truly next gen. I don't know what truly next gen is.
Well, when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, wasn't it truly next gen? It was one of the first games to be like, here's the power of the next gen. So yeah, you would think that that GTA 6 is gonna up the ante on that.
Definitely. There was just like a couple of maps here, and we got back to this. Now, the reason why I wanted to pull this, it's because we have Red Dead Redemption 2 here. Every time there's some leaks like this, and every time there's talks about like what was and what cannot be in the games and the burden of whatever, I always think that there's like something in the background. And one of the things that I think it's happening is they're hiding what the price is going to be for the GTA. So let me give you a bit of context here. The Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Online, there was a community update. This is in July 2022. And what they said is that this will update as some changes. So there's Red Dead Redemption 2, and it said over the past few years, we've been steadily moving more development resources towards the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. Basically saying goodbye support to Red Dead Redemption 2. This was in 2022. So we're talking about just here, just 2 or 3 years after releasing Red Dead 2 and then Red Dead Online. So you just finishing support or just pulling people out of the support. I wanted to have someone that can, hopefully someone in the chat can fill me in with a little bit of this. But
is there still support for GTA 5 Online? Does that take like basically? Sounds to me like GTA 5 Online made a lot more money than Red Dead Online. So like, all right, we're gonna keep working on GTA 5 Online, but fuck this Red Dead stuff.
Yeah. I think that some of the quality of life that was introduced into GTA Online was not introduced into Red Dead Redemption Online, and I think that it would have the potential to do a lot of to make a lot of money as well. But I think that GTA Online was just so popular that they just decided to just keep giving some support. Now there wasn't big heists like there was like initially, but there's still robberies, and then there's still content being updated. So every now and again we get some more content in GTA Online, not like big updates, but content. So Paul, oh, it's in the doc, Paul. We're gonna get to that into a little bit. Think I'll be waiting for it to go on sale at that price. We're gonna get into this. So they stop the support for Red Dead Redemption, and also we have like this GTA Plus. So again, this was March 29. So if you look at the timeline, you have like, okay, this one was in July, but they released the GTA Plus for the consoles. So PlayStation Store and the Microsoft Store. And then what you do is like you pay a little sub and you get extra stuff in GTA Online. Just so you have an idea, 500,000 GTA dollars, it's nothing. You can do this in like less than an hour, but you get these ones delivered every month. You get like a few perks and then whatnot, but I don't know how many people actually got into this that it's so worth to have it. And it's only for consoles. So this just before you go, this was why I was telling you that the game was definitely not coming for PC on release. They make their money on consoles a whole lot, and then they put it on PC because we don't have this on PC. There's vehicles that go on consoles that we don't have on PC, or they are delayed coming for PC.
Yeah, these sort of subscription services like that. Now I play Pokemon Unite. I used to be huge into it. Stopped for a while. Have recently got back into it. Actually, play it with Paul Barrismith quite frequently in the chat there. And there's a Pokemon Unite Plus service or something like that, which is very similar to this. That used to be worth it. That is not anymore. I think we're seeing this more and more with these sort of online based games. Is like, you know, while the game might be free and you can optionally buy cosmetics here or this there, pay this extra $10 a month, and here's a few perks that when you break it down actually really aren't worth it, but it sounds like such a good deal on paper that they're able to sort of sucker folks into it. So yeah, I have no doubt that GTA 6 is absolutely going to have a model like that.
I have a couple of questions regarding this. How does this compare to, for example, World of Warcraft, where you pay a tenner a month, or let's say League of Legends, where it's just free to go in and then play, and you can just play forever for free?
Well, in context of WoW, in WoW, you're pretty much just paying, instead of paying 60, $70 at once to play the game, you're effectively paying a subscription service just to keep access to the game. But it is such an expansive, massive game with years of history. 'Cause I got into WoW late. I didn't get into WoW until within the last 2-3 years. But it's such an expansive game, such expansive history. There's so much to keep up on that like you feel like you're getting your money's worth. I've never played League, so I can't speak to that. However, Pokemon Unite, the game I was just talking about, is literally League but Pokemon. So in that regard,
Okay.
yeah, you can
Is it
play.
free?
It is entirely free, and then you can anything that you buy is that
Cosmetics.
extra is mostly cosmetic and whatnot. Like
Okay, so there's
now,
no pay to win.
yeah, like so when they release new champions, which are new Pokemon,
Mhm.
you can choose to buy them out the gate with real money, or you can go through process in the game to get the in-game currency to unlock them. But since they're champions, it's you're not really paying to win because whether you buy them with real money or take the little bit extra amount of time to unlock it, it's a competitive game. So they've got to be relatively I mean, they can't be broken. Now, a lot of times they are broken out the gate, and they're like, "Oh man, okay, this stuff got to be nerfed, this stuff got to be patched because just testing the characters and whatnot." But in general, there's no pay to win in Pokemon Unite. There's just
Yeah. This is something that crossed my mind a few times. Where, for example, if I spend an entire year playing League of Legends, at the end of the year, let's say during Christmas or something, I just throw like a 10 or 20 quid for like a cosmetic for a skin. And I just say, in my head, I'm thinking, I play all this year for free, and I want this server to be online for free the next year. So I throw them like 20 quid. I wouldn't be spending more than that. And then if I play like 2 or 3 games, chances are they're only going to get a tenner because I play this game and I play these other games. But that's just the
well,
way.
not only that, but because of how important the RP aspect is to you. If you're throwing money at cosmetics, I mean that, in my opinion, would up the RP game. Like you're like that when I buy cosmetics in Pokemon Unite, it's like, yo, I want my Pokemon to have that drip while I'm out here, killing
Yeah.
mofos. So like it's and I imagine with GTA 5, it's a lot of the same. It's like, all right, here's $5 to like make my car look sexy AF. And it doesn't really improve the
Yeah.
game, but it improves your experience visually.
I think in GTA it's a little bit different because of the model. So in GTA the model is you buy a property and then you get access to missions, and then with those missions you make money and you save them money, and the next DLC you buy a new property. Now, if you don't have time to play, or if you haven't been grinding, which is again it's not that hard, like with just a couple of hours uh, per week. I'm not even saying per day. With a couple of hours per week, you can actually save enough money for the next DLC. And I think that they just bank on shark cards that just far too much. People that just want to own everything, or they might not
Whales.
whales or might not have time to grind. Um, but this brings us to this cfx.re. Do you even know what this is? Does anyone know what this is?
I've got no idea. And I don't think the government wants us to know what this is. You're treading in dangerous waters here, Bish.
The government doesn't want us to know this, but I reported on this. So the role play community update, cfx.re joins Rockstar Games. And this is a love-hate relationship from Rockstar. Today, we're proud to announce that CFX.RE, the team behind 5M, biggest Rockstar role-playing creator communities, 5M and Red M, are now officially a part of Rockstar Games. So in August 2023, they bought the guys that made 5M. So if you don't know what 5M is, if you go into Twitch,
Sounds like a fan project first.
so it started as a fan project, and then basically what happens is you cannot mod GTA Online, but you can mod GTA 5, the single player game.
Mhm.
So what someone did was like they created servers where you connect to the servers, and you connect with your single player account, and you run this mod that allows you to RP. So they created worlds with this, and then there's like a lot of like cops versus groups kind of thing. People recreating real cars into the game, modding cars into the game. And if you look into Twitch, I'll just pull up Twitch here. There's 143K viewers. Sometimes there's far more, like just close to 250K. And then most of these people are playing RP. If you just look at some of these people, I don't think anyone is actually playing the online game or the single player game. No one does it. Now, after this, just for a bit of context, inside there was a report for the 20 million 5M acquisition. Now, this is a project that, just so you know, would generate around 1.5 million a month. So just this project. So obviously, Rockstar wanted to stop this, and I'm saying that this is a love-hate relationship with the modding community, because they keep taking down the mods from the community, but they allow this to happen, and then they just pull this. Is this making sense? Where I'm going with this?
Well, it's making sense, especially in the love-hate relationship aspect, because Sega did something similar, not to do with mods per se, but something
But
similar with Sonic the Hedgehog, in that Sega had put out a bunch of Sonic games and
mm,
they kind of fucking sucked. Then you had a bunch of fans get together, and Sega would not. Every time they would recreate Sonic 1, 2, 3, all the classic Genesis games, every time they would put them out, like, here, now you can download it on the Switch, or here, now you can download it on the phone, or whatever. They were terrible ports. And a bunch of fans got together, led by a guy named Christian Whitehead, and they're like, yo, we're tired of Sega being shitty at their jobs, and they rebuilt from the ground up all these classic Sonic games and re-released them for free. And Sega went, oh, and fans rejoiced. Fans loved it. And Sega went, oh no, a bunch of fans are outdoing us. Let's hire them and just make them part of Sega and let them just do the work for us. And
exactly.
people loved it. But by the same token, they were like, why couldn't you do this? You're Sega. So, like, the love part was like, hey, way to go on hiring fans and acknowledging their work, but also, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Why did 3 dudes in their basement, why can they code better than you?
And this is a little bit what happened here. Like, so they bought 5M, and then they got rid of all the people that were working in 5M, and they start doing
Oh,
their
that's
own
scummy. That's scummy.
thing. A lot of these people, right? This was like fan projects that turn into like love projects that turn into work. And so they bought him, and then they just got rid of them. And this goes back to this image here, which is what I think it's going to happen. With all these GTA Plus, with all these memberships and everything, I think this is what they're planning to do. I wanted to leave this on a stream because I just wanted to call it out. I think that there's going to be servers where you're going to be paying like GTA memberships, just like you do for this. And then from these memberships, you're going to be doing this thing. So let's see. Players will be able to carry a rifle on the back and a handgun strapped in the front. This is one of the things that maybe believe this report, right? Players can have multiple car inventories with clothes, weapons, because when you go into GTA Online, this is what the people want. They want this realistic otherworld experience where they're actually carrying guns. Like you see, like police officers here. They want the uniforms. They want to dress up their characters. Does this make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
This is what I would think that they were going with this. I think that they're going into a service, because now it's still peer-to-peer. It's absolutely atrocious. But they want to go for like a server kind of model. And if we go back to this other one here with the crane, right? Now this makes sense, because if this is your own server, right? If this is your own server, or this might happen because now there's like a little bit of realism happening alongside the rest of the people that are playing.
Right. Instead of a public server with hundreds of people, it's a private server with either you playing solo, or maybe you've got like a crew of 5, 6 people playing. It's a lot more manageable for the in-game resources and activities to not be affected by any sort of wild cards of hundreds of people playing. Right?
Exactly. So this brings us to what Paul was referencing a while back, which is the state of the video gaming in 2025. Now, this is a long report by Matthew Ball, where it just goes through 222 pages, but we're not going to go through all of them because I only want to focus on this one tiny bit, which is GTA costing 100%, and then they're saying that this will help other game studios actually price the games this expensive. Now, GTA 6 costing 100 quid.
I 100% believe this, by the way. I have no evidence. I've not seen anything. However, I've been speculating. I think I did videos on this, not related to GTA 6, but related to other games and whatnot, being like within the next couple of years, we're going to say, oh, it was because of Capcom, it's because of Resident Evil. The guys at Capcom, this is a Japanese company, so they're saying it in Japan, we're hearing it here in the West. If both countries are saying it, it's probably fucking true. They are looking for ways to jet the price because games have gotten so expensive to make. They need to offset the cost. How you do that? You jack up the rates, and gamers are drug addicts, so they will pay for that extra cost. That is my belief, at least.
This is one of the things that makes me think that I was just like, I might be part of the problem. I might be so part of the problem because I can almost see myself actually doing this. So a lot of people have been saying like, no, listen, we're going to wait. The game's going to get cheaper and stuff, but I can almost see myself doing this. Philip, how you doing, my brother?
I would probably be part of the problem as well, sort of. I would never pay $100 for
GTA.
most video games, but
Sonic.
But I was exactly. But if Sega was like, "Yo, the next Sonic is going to be the biggest, most expansive one ever," or if Nintendo was like, "The next Zelda is going to be the biggest, most expansive ever," I'd be like, because I already did that with Zelda. Every Zelda game up until Tears of the Kingdom had been $60, and then Nintendo was like, "Tears of the Kingdom is going to be 70," and I'm like, "Well, it's Nintendo. They're fucking. Their games are always great. I'll pay an extra 10. It'll be fine. It'll be worth the extra $10." To be fair, it was. I put hundreds of hours into Tears of the Kingdom. So I feel like I got my money's worth. That being said, I wouldn't do it for just any game. I don't think most gamers would do it for just any game. I think there's going to be select key titles, and GTA is one of those titles that is one of the biggest franchises in the world. People are going to pay that extra that even if it's an extra $30, they're going to pay it, especially on day one.
I want to see numbers. I want to see a number in the chat by people watching, and I want to hear a number from you. What is the top? Like, put it this way. Like, imagine your favorite game. Imagine you really want to play it. Imagine you got a console to play that game. What is that?
Paul just said in the chat he'd pay it for GTA 6. If it's a hundo, he'd pay it for GTA 6.
Yes,
I can see it. I wouldn't because I'm not a massive GTA fan, but I would for others. So like, I can't knock it.
Marty would go 100. Paul said, I would pay for GTA 6. $60 from Cass is the most I've ever paid for a game. I actually bought GTA. I actually pre-ordered the GTA 5 because they delayed the game at the time and they made some sort of deal. And that was the only reason why I pre-ordered the game, because there was something with it. I think that there was a shark card with it because they were like, "Oh, we delayed the game" or something. It was something like that. I can't remember exactly what.
$250 for Sonic Shadow Generations because I bought the Ultimate Deluxe Edition that came with all these like 1 out of 200 collectibles and like basically just this Ultimate Deluxe Collector's Edition that is this anniversary edition, and it was like. Is that the $250 or $500? I really hope it was $250 because I cannot good kind of say I spent $500 on something. No, yeah, it was $250 plus $50 for the game, so $300. So I spent $300 on a fucking Sonic game. Now, granted, it wasn't just the game; it comes with a bunch of physical collectibles and stuff. But even so,
this is the comment that I wanted to go through. There is hope. Oh man, this is not Star Wars. That GTA 6 could price at $80 or even 100. He posited this may be a positive. He posited.
Yeah, positive. Yep.
I learned a new word today. I learned a new word today. Actually, there's 3 words today. Someone's gonna.
To be fair, can't you speak like 3 or 4 languages? So learning a new word in English is pretty great.
Sí, puedo hablar muchas lenguas. Might be a positive thing. It will allow other developers to follow suit and break this key price barrier. What key price barrier? See, what they don't understand is that it's not a key price barrier. Is quality of the game. You pay for a good steak. You pay for a good steak. It's just it needs to be good. You
Yeah.
know, you're not gonna go and sit there and then pay for a good steak, and then it's actually not steak, it's pork, and it's actually not that good. There's no vegetables with this. There's no drink with this, and it's gonna cost you $100. You'll be like, you know, it just needs to be good. But I wanted to get into this because I think that all that's all these conversation about, and I don't want to get into this, but all these conversations about is GTA is going to be woke or not? Is GTA is going to be political or not? Is GTA is going to leaks here, leaks there? I think it's just to detract us from this. I think the game is just going to be super expensive. I think it's going to be ridiculously aggressively monetized, and I think they're just hiding this from us.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct there. And now here is the one thing I'm not defending a price hike like this. I do think it's insane. And I think that a lot of companies are trying to find a way to do this. And yeah, Rockstar might be the one that's able to crest over the edge and make other companies go all in on it. However, to play devil's advocate, the worldwide economy has sucked for the last several years. It's not just video games, because I remember when video games went from 60 to $70 and gamers freaked out. But you got to remember that also eggs are more expensive now. Drinks are more, everything is more expensive. It makes sense that games would also be more expensive. I don't want that to be the case, but with the price of everything going up, unfortunately, video games are going to go up as well. Now, the question is, are most video games worth it? No, because like Paul said earlier, most games come out as borked, buggy messes on release that oh, we'll patch it later. And a game comes out, but it's not actually playable until a month later, 2 months later, whatever. They do all the behind the scenes fixes. The developers are not making games nowadays. Yeah, exactly. Developers are not making games that are ready on launch in most cases. Therefore, it is not worth it. If you gave me a product that was worth that money on launch, that was finished, that was properly working, that didn't have all these massive issues, then you know what? Maybe I would pay it. But no, as it currently stands, 99% of game companies and games are not coming out in a state that I would say is worth day one price.
This is something that I keep saying. So saying that it refused to buy them until release discounted Game of the Year version. And I just keep saying this, we need to boycott all these games. But the thing
But we're part of the problem, because there's those friends like GTA, you're going to buy day one. A new Resident Evil game, I buy day one. Everyone's going to be a little bit of a hypocrite for one title or another. I know plenty of people, they're like,
exactly,
AAA. I completely reject AAA. But when Final Fantasy 16 comes out, I'm going to break the rules a little bit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
One of the things as well is with Final Fantasy, and it's almost the same, it feels like the same as Rockstar. The games are going to come up and it's going to be decent. And it's going to be cool, and it's going to be good. I don't think there was that many issues on release, other than I never touched the story in GTA Online. Honestly, I can show screenshots of this. I think I have less than 1 hour played. It's just because I had to play the initial mission at some stage,
whatnot.
And it was just straight into online. I grew up with LAN, so it's very hard for me to just go into a single player game. Single player game, it was something that I would do when I was grounded, when dad was like, you're not going surfing, you're not going biking, you're not doing anything, you're grounded. It was like, okay, fine, so I'll just go and play my console, this single player game here. And it was like, you do whatever you want, you're just not leaving the house for BMX. And I was like, fine. So this is the idea that I have from single player games. So
see, and I'm the opposite in that. Now, I don't play online games because I'm a terrible control freak, and people like if I'm playing online, I'm the fucking leader. You listen to me. Jesus Christ, why'd you make that stupid fucking? I'm a terrible person to play online games with because I'm an asshole. So single player games are much more up my alley, unless it's like a fighting game, or if it's a competitive game, I'll play online all the time. Like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Marvel vs. Capcom. At that point, I'm not on your team. I'm your enemy, and so but yeah, games where it's online, where you're part of a community, I'm a dickhead, so I don't play them very often.
Gotta stay away from this. So Los Santos off the grid. We're going to come to an end of this stream. I have like a engagement check. Press enter to continue. So something that I'm going to ask people in the chat is just leave me a comment. Let us know what you think about this, and in a general sense, like the stream altogether, like the document. What do you think about the leaks? Do you think that they're real or not? Leon, what do you think? What do you think? It's just because that's the credibility check here. Do you think this is legit? Do you think it's just speculation? What do you make of this doc?
It's a little bit interesting because do I think the leaks are legit? No, I don't think somebody got in the Rockstar offices and played GTA 6 for 4 hours and got all this information. However, do I think everything they're saying is true? Yeah, most of it, because it is such obvious stuff that Rockstar themselves would kind of be retarded if they didn't do almost all those things that are in these leaks.
I do have like a little bit of that sense. I think that most of the stuff was just educated guesses from anyone that has been paying attention for the last few years, especially when it comes to Red Dead Redemption. And again, I keep thinking about this. It's just that it's going to be so aggressively monetized. And I think that these GTA Plus memberships and buying 5M and getting into the servers, I think it's going to be just going to be like a money printing machine for them, and they know it. And I think that's also one of the reasons.
Best, by the way, common sense guesses thrown out as leaks.
Common sense, exactly. It is. Wasn't the one dev fired after his son uploaded a bunch of info from his work? So this is another can of worms. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to put a doc for this, because that is.
Yeah, that's straight. That right there is straight up a whole nother live stream material. So you may
like it's a whole yeah. Right. What else do I have here on this doc?
I remember covering that on my channel when that happened. Yeah, I remember did a video or a live stream on it, but I remember covering that when that happened. Yeah,
it's super cool. Repercussions. So I wanted to ask as well, how do these leaks shape the expectations for GTA 6? Like, does this change anything? Does this, like, what's the point of this? I think it's just people are just so starved for GTA 6 information. There's no trailers, there's no anything. And I think that everyone is just doing this like for a little bit of attention. But I wanted to cover this because I thought it was interesting to put all this stuff together, because I wanted to tie it into the monetization. And I could be very wrong on this one. The government could be, so.
You're not wrong at all. This is probably going to be the best-selling game of all time when it comes out, and it will probably stay the best-selling game until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. I think that those are going to probably they will probably be neck and neck for competition of biggest game ever made, GTA 6 and Elder Scrolls 6.
It's true. So I know that this was a lot of speculation and whatnot, but something that it's not a speculation is your show later on. You're going to be live in a few hours, so I think I'm going to need to go and grab a little nap to be up for it. Do you want to tell us about it? What's going to happen this evening?
Are you coming on the show tonight?
It depends if I'm able to wake up, because I sometimes when I pass out at 8 o'clock, I just nap for like 2 or 8 hours, and then I wake up the next morning. Anything beyond 7 o'clock for me means that I can just like wake up the next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to try to, but
well, link will be in the private chat. You're welcome to come on. I had someone cancel today, so we actually got 2 or 3 open spots left. So you're absolutely welcome to come on. But yeah, I have a show today in about a little less than 5 hours, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be covering the inauguration and Goonergate, Melanie Mac, JDA, a bunch of the
gift that keeps giving.
The gift that keeps giving. A bunch of the religious zealot grifters that want to co-opt the anti-woke movement and gaming and pop culture and make it all about basically calling you a sinner if you like sexy women and comics and gamings and stuff. And it's truly, like you said, now it's the gift that keeps on giving. I I crossed the 7,000 subscriber mark
Congratulations.
over last night. Thank you very much, and it's truly because of that situation. So you know what, Melanie, your block was
Wait.
worth it. I now have a modicum of more relevancy.
So the links are going to be on the description below, by the way. So if anyone wants to follow and then just check it up later, I'm a member of the Countercast group, but I'm the guy that like sleeps when it's live. So for me, it's a little bit tricky. Time zone's going to be a bitch. So let me just check here.
Philip. Thank you.
So I want to thank everyone for coming up on the show. Like it was, I wanted to go through all these docs. So thanks very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys being in here. I wanted to get just a few more watch hours. So hopefully someone will pick this up and say like, oh, I'll leave it playing in the background just so I can get like to get to my 3,000 hours. I'm getting close to that. Getting close to that. So. I want to thank everyone for showing up. Super great show. Leon, thank you so much for stopping by. Like I said, links in the description.
Congratulations on your first live stream on this channel.
Yeah, it's
that's big milestone, dude. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. That's awesome.
No, I appreciate that. It was a maiden stream. What is this? Like here, the final thoughts. What is this? What?
On that